All right, why don't we get started? Well, hi, everybody. It's great to see you all. And this is our last C2i Drop-in Session for the year. And we are going to look at reflection and alignment for the end of the year. And it's not quite the end of the year, it's almost the end of the year. And this is actually my favorite time to do this because doing it now means that certain things that require adjustment for next year can be done. And, for example, you can remember, I talked about this before, buy your journal. This is a good time to buy your new journal for the year. As I mentioned, I always do a new journal each year, and I like to spend New Year's doing some journaling intensively. I also like to think about what things that I want to change. I actually had this great inspiration. I was having some dilemmas about some choices recently, and a good friend of mine who does a lot of outdoor things, and she's an outrigger coach. She said, she was listening to my dilemma, and she said, think about how many summers you have left in your life. I said, oh, wow. And she said, yeah, don't, even if you count years, sometimes it seems like a lot. But she said, just count just the discrete summers you have. And I thought, oh, wow, that's not that many. and it's been really interesting. That has prompted me to make all sorts of changes. I created a new spreadsheet now as a result of that, of things I need to get rid of to make space for things that I want to do. And that framing has been really helpful for me. And doing this now means that I have some space, and there's certain things that are just easier to do at the end of the year. And there's certain things that are, maybe related to finances, but there's also things that are related to scheduling and year-long commitments. So this is my favorite time to do this. So I'm glad we're having a chance to do this together. What I would like to do for us today is provide several journal prompts, and then we'll do a guided meditation together. And I'm going to bring up the prompts now on the screen. Oh, there's an interesting new option for sound sharing here. I have to log in. Okay, I think I might type the oh wait, can you see my screen now? And you can hear me? Oh, great. Okay. All right. I thought it didn't work, but it sounds like it did work, which is great. Let's move to journaling. So if you would find something that you can write on, and we have a couple prompts for thinking about the end of the year. So the first prompt is just a reflection on the end of the year. What was meaningful? What was challenging? What brought joy and positivity? Just give a couple minutes to journal on reflecting on the year. Give about 3 minutes. Now for the next prompt, let's move to start thinking about the future. How would you like to adjust for next year? Based on how this past year went, how would you like to adjust for next year? Now the next journal prompt, what are you excited about? The last prompt, something that I really like to think about is, how would you like to be? You think about existing in your life. Now let's transition to a short guided meditation. Now that we've done some journaling and more formal thinking through past year and how we'd like to move forward, you could find a way to sit that allows yourself to be alert but relaxed. You can close your eyes if you prefer, or if you'd like to keep them open, I suggest a soft gaze down. And make any adjustments you need to feel comfortable sitting in this position for several minutes. And let's take several deep breaths just to settle in. Resuming normal breathing. I'd like you to reflect upon the past year. And what I'd like you to reflect on is there a tone to the past year? And tone can be what it means to you. Could be a feeling, it could be a color, it could be some overriding thought, or is there a tone as you think about the last year? And take several deep breaths. Resuming normal breathing. I'd like you to call to mind what you'd like to adjust for next year. The journaling prompt that we just did, what would you like to adjust for next year? Call that to mind. And I'd like you to notice, as you're thinking about what you'd like to adjust, anything that's happening in the body. Any sensations in the body. You notice thoughts arising as you consider what you'd like to adjust. Any emotions that might be present. Let's take a few deep breaths. I'd like you to call to mind, what are you excited about? What are you excited about? And again, as you think about this, I'd like you to, again, notice what's happening in the body. Any sensations in the body? Any thoughts arising affiliated with what you're excited about? Any emotions that might be present? Let's take several deep breaths. Resuming normal breathing. Please consider how you'd like to be. How would you like to be? And again, noticing any sensations in the body. Any thoughts arising with how you'd like to be? Any emotions that might be present? And let's take several deep breaths. Resuming normal breathing. Encourage us to sit in silence for several moments and just notice what arises. Now let's close this practice. Open your eyes if you had them closed. And we'll bring our attentions back to the screen. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining in that journaling practice and meditation. It did occur to me when we were doing the meditation and I asked, what are you excited about? And I asked emotions, and I realized, I hope excitement is one of them. But I think, as I've mentioned before, I after journaling, I really appreciate this practice of noticing reactions to the practice, which often helps me calibrate. Either it validates that, yes, this is indeed what I really am feeling and would really like to do, or sometimes other emotions come up and it suggests, oh, I may need to adjust either the goals or the way that I'm thinking about it, because there is something else there, and it often prompts further inquiry. So thank you for joining in that. I did also want to we have a couple minutes, just a quick recap at the end on our time together this whole past year as a community. And this is the set of topics that we've addressed over this course of this year. It's actually quite a lot. And I think CR mentioned this before. If you read it, we had this experience last year, and I had this the experience this year. Reading it, it seems like a poem. And this is the journey that we've been on through this past year together. And it's been a beautiful journey together with all of you. So I wanted to thank everyone as part of this community. And I'm just very grateful for the time we've had together. And this is the end of our last session of the year. Feel free to make any comments in the chat on either what you're thinking about for the past year and the next, or our journey together as the drop-in sessions come to a close for the year. And I will also stay on for several more minutes if anyone wants to chat, or are there any questions or comments. So thank you, everybody.